What's going on, Sofa Squad? Here we are in Watch Dogs Legion, and today I'm going to be going over a few of the kind of tech skills that I think are probably the best skills to get early game, and they should last you up until late game. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. So yeah, here we are in Watch Dogs, and I must admit I'm having a lot more fun than I thought I actually would. I'm not usually a stealthy type of person, and I'm definitely not the best at these type of games. They're not my forte as such, but this is really good, and you can actually create the characters kind of a little bit how you want, or recruit the characters how you want to use them, and then change them about a bit with their tech skills and that, so it really does make them customizable. So what do I think are the best skills early game? And by early game I mean straight off the bat you should pretty much be getting these, and they will last you into endgame, so they're well worth unlocking. Now if you're worried about not having tech points because they can be quite expensive, I have got a guide that I'll be putting up in the top right that will show you the easiest way to get tech points really quick, and you can get it pretty much after the tutorial mission in the game. But for the actual tech skills, I'll be listing them in order of what I think they should be got, as I believe this is definitely the best way. So straight off the bat, the first one that you should get, I believe bar none, is definitely the Infiltrator Spider Bot. Now this is absolutely essential. There's a lot of the skills in this game that you don't actually have to use. You could get away with running in and shooting everything to pieces some of the time. You could get away with hacking most things and just not worrying about it. You could get away with punching things with melee. You can get away with not being stealthy. But you can't get away without having the spider bot. The reason for that is there's a lot of kind of nooks and crannies and little access ways that are needed to be accessed by this spider bot. This is definitely what I would say is bar none the most essential one in the game, and I would definitely recommend getting this one very first more than any of the others. Second up, and one really nice one to use, especially if like myself your stealth is not the best nowadays. Now I was really good back in the days at playing Metal Gear Solid and such, but I found myself lacking. Now I've got a bit more to grips with this game and I'm getting a lot better. But starting off, I was not used to being sneaky. I am way too used to powering my characters up and smashing everyone to pieces. So this AR cloak is definitely something that you should invest in. Now what I would say, unlike the spider bot level 1 is really good, and I would purchase it at that and not worry too much till a little bit later when you can upgrade it. This one however, I would say no real point getting it at level 1, save up and then get it to level 2 straight away, so that you get cloak lasts longer when standing still or walking slowly. Basically you will want to be walking slowly most times and then doing the little takedowns. Once you do that, it actually lasts quite a long time, and obviously I think it comes out of it when you've done the takedowns as such, but by then you've always got that takedown done, so you don't have to worry too much, whereas in some situations it will just completely disappear way too fast if you've only got level 1. One of the reasons I recommend this skill as well is because you can link it with so many other things, and it works absolutely amazing with them, so it is definitely worth having. Whether it be in using a tech skill to kind of make them disrupted, or to stun them and then to go into cloak, or whilst you're in cloak, it is really good and it doesn't compromise you in your situation. Now the third one I would recommend, and this one is I would say probably essential as well, as without this you just seem to get found quite a lot, because obviously you can't really drag bodies and such in this, or if you can, I haven't found a way to. So what you tend to do is you'll be leaving all the dead remains behind, or the people you've knocked out, on the floor, and if they have drones around, there is a good chance every once in a while they will find them and then they will search the area. It can make your mission a little bit tougher, and it can make it a little bit harder to complete some of those really difficult ones. With the AR shroud, you don't have to worry about that. As soon as you've taken them down, you can just tap a button and they will be shrouded. It's as if they're invisible and nothing's going to spot them. So it works really well, and it is really good for those stealthy type missions which you will have to do within the game. Now, coming in at number 4 on my list, and this one is really good, especially if you're using permadeath. Now, the reason I say that is because it just gives you a little bit more vitality. So, Skin Mesh reduces damage suffered by all DedSec operatives. Like I said, it's bar none one of the best ones for staying alive. It basically means you'll unlock this and then each one of your characters can take a little bit more damage, which I think we can all agree is something you'll definitely want if you have permadeath put on. If you don't have it, it is not essential, to be perfectly honest, but it is still good to have. So I would say purchasing this as probably your 4th pick is probably really good, as you're going to be a tiny bit into the game, but it will help you in every situation for every one of your agents. Now, next up, if you're like me, one of the main really drawings for this game is basically being able to go around and just look at all the characters that you'd like to recruit, or looking at all of their different profiles and they've mixed and matched on them, seeing whether they've got a nice gun, seeing what some of their backgrounds are. You can get some really interesting characters and you can get some really strong characters. So this right here is used for getting characters that you usually can't. So for example, say you've seen a character that you want, but they have a red thumbstand, you usually can't recruit them. With the Deep Profiler, you will literally kind of delve into their life as such, and you can do a kind of mission for them that will unlock them and make them playable for you, rather than them never being able to be recruited. It works really well, and I find it quite a fun thing to have, especially for getting those type of players that you wouldn't usually be able to get. One other thing you can use this for, if you really wanted to, basically say you've got a character saved as someone you're looking at, you can deep dive into their kind of life as such. They will have a list of activities and they'll all have different times on them. When you go to one of those activities that you've marked on the map, that time that it will kind of fast forward to in regards to that character. So basically you could use this as a kind of fast forwarder in timescales. If you wanted to say keep a character and you wanted it always to be 6 PM, you could quite easily do it with this item. Now, coming in at number 6, and I really like this, it goes really well for someone who, let's say for example, you do not want to be the stealthiest, but you do want to do a bit of damage to people, you do want to knock out a lot of people, you like the brawling aspect. Now I would say the Electro Fist, all the way done up to level 3, is definitely what you're after. If you have a little look, an electrostatic punch that can knock out an opponent in a single blow. Power hits automatically arc electricity to a nearby target and emits a shockwave that disorientates nearby enemies. It's basically a brawler's paradise. If you're hitting people, and especially say for example you're in amongst the thick of it and loads of people are coming at you, say in the street as such, or it's a big brawl type thing, this is going to absolutely devastate them and knock a lot of them out. The only thing that's a drawback, it does have a little bit of a cooldown, so you can't keep spamming it. Otherwise I think this would be an absolutely perfect item to have. But it is really good for initiating a fight and kind of ending it in one hit, especially if there's 2 or 3 people combined. And once again, like the others, you can combine this with things such as the AR Shroud and then cloak the targets on the floor that you've completely destroyed. Now next up, unfortunately I haven't actually got this, but I would say if I did buy this I would probably get this before the Brawling Fist, but it's down to personal preference, it depends how good at stealth missions you are. This one right here, the Riot Drone, just for the sheer fact they can be a bit of a pain if you come out of stealth at the wrong time, and it does kind of scan you. With this you can obviously disable for a short period of time, or you can hijack it, or if you've got the last one, it fights its own allies. That is really good if you're not going to be going full stealth as such and you're more about just getting through the missions quite fast. This one is quite good. You kind of run up the stairs, get into a bit of cover, activate this, and then you can kind of do what you want. It is really good to have on your character, and it's really good to have for destroying the targets, as they have a lot more to worry about than just yourself on the floor. Right guys and girls, that pretty much does it from me, and like I said, I believe they are some of the best tech skills in the game, and they can last you all the way up until the very end game. Especially things like the AR Shroud, you're definitely going to want them just for actually masking all of the people you take down. You can do that without worry, and it does work really well. As always guys and girls, if this has helped, why not hit that thumbs up button, and as it really helps the channel, and why not hit that subscribe and bell icon, and I'll bring you all the latest and greatest content. As always, take care, I'll see you on the next day.